guys, buckle up for another brand new episode of Below the Iceberg, the one and only podcast where we talk to real life 2 Comma Club winners. Whether you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur, or you've been in business for a while, you're sure to pick up some tidbits of actionable advice from these $1 million entrepreneurs. Now, if you're new around here and you don't know what a 2 Comma Club winner is, it's where somebody has built one funnel inside the ClickFunnels software and sold $1 million through just that one funnel, which is amazing. Now, in today's episode, I'm super excited to be talking to Hannah Keeley, who is America's #1 mom coach and parenting and lifestyle expert, and she's a mom of 7. And 4 of her kids work in the business. Now, Hannah's desire to help moms all over the world is insatiable, and that's why her business has grown to exponential heights. So let's dive in and find out how it all started and what funnel she used to get her 2 Comma Club award. Welcome, Hannah, to Below the Iceberg.
I am so excited to be here, Polly. Thank you so much for inviting me. How much fun is this?
Yes, awesome. I've been so looking forward to this chat. It's amazing that we're finally doing it. So I want to say a massive congratulations on getting a 2 Comma Club award.
Well, thank you. That was fun.
It is amazing achievement. So what I like to do with my guests is go check out their social media profiles, because it's a really good indication for people who have big followings and small followings, and they can still achieve 2 Comma Club.
Yeah.
So I checked out your stats, and I think Facebook is your biggest platform. Is that right?
Well, it is, because that was my first platform.
All right,
so
okay.
Now we're really, actually, it's funny that we're having this conversation now, because we've redone everything social media. So
have you?
Going into, just kind of like, you have to keep current. And I'm a person who's like always wants to try out something new. And my team is like, all right, let's just get a system in place. Let's just work something until it works. So going into new avenues, doing some rebranding, but that's all part of the fun.
Okay, because I see you're on TikTok.
Yeah, but again, we've got to like launch a little more into that space and make it a little more cohesive, I think. But it's so fun. I love to do that, because I feel like social media helps people get that that inside look at people.
Yeah.
And I think what is really a commodity today is authenticity.
Yeah, definitely.
And so if we can, that's my goal, is to be able to leverage social media in a way where people feel like they're riding in my car, they're hanging out with me around the house, or sitting at the dining room table. It's just, it's like they want to know me and I want to know them. So having those conversations are important.
Awesome. So do you want to tell our listeners exactly what it is that you do?
I wish I knew. It kind of changes with the seasons, which is cool. But no, I'm America's #1 mom coach. I'm a board certified life coach. And what I do is kind of a neurobiblical approach, if you could imagine such a thing. It's combining neuroscience with biblical knowledge, and helping people with principles to just make their lives the best they could be.
All right. Okay. Awesome. So when did you actually achieve the 2 Comma Club from ClickFunnels?
I think it was about a couple years ago.
All right. Okay.
When we got our first 2 Comma Club award, which is fun. Yeah.
How many have you got? One? Have you got more?
I think we actually have it last year, but I never filled out the stuff to get it.
All right. Okay.
Maybe that won't be included in this podcast. But yeah, it's exciting, because now my eyes are set on that that 10X award, right? That 10.
Okay. The 10 one, the big one with the 4.
The big one. We always want what's next.
Yeah.
Always want what's next. I'm the worst about that, man. I'm like, oh, isn't it pretty? But look, that's pretty too. Let's go do that. Yeah.
So when you got that first one, was it a goal to get it, or did it just happen?
It just happened. And when it came, I was like totally shocked. I mean, we filled out all this stuff and we were like, yeah, we hit a goal and really celebrated. But something happened, Polly, when I opened it and I held it and I was like, wait, I did this? Like I was the queen of the participation. See, I can't even say participation trophies. Like I was always the girl who was the last one picked, and those kind of things. Like I think my biggest award was 4-H club doing a speech on how to wash a dog or something like that. So when I held that, I'm like, oh wait, me? What? That's crazy pants. But yeah, that was super cool.
So what did you do to celebrate? Did you celebrate?
Honestly, I think I just went back to work. I might have indulged in like a Starbucks latte or something, but for me, the celebration is the achievement. Like that does so much for me. And I am the first person now, Polly, to say everyone should celebrate their achievements. I'm the first person because it does something, your brain has a reward center and you have to like make sure you are not operating in a dopamine deficiency and you're like always stimulating that reward center around the things that you want to achieve. However, my reward center in my brain is stimulated by the achievement. And so when I hit it, it's like, yes, I get so excited that I want to go and do more because I can't separate my work from my play. It's so much fun to work.
Right. Okay.
I think, I remember one time someone was, I think it was a mentor who was sharing, you have to clearly define what are your work hours? What are your play hours? Like have more definition in your life. And I said, that sounds sucky. Like I would go crazy. Like I love doing it. Like if I had to turn it off, it's kind of like, how they tell married couples when you go out on a date, don't talk about the kids.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And okay, my husband and I have been married over 30 years, and that's some of our most fun conversations are talking about the kids. So if you think you have to fit into certain parameters, I think you're going to subconsciously limit yourself. Or what's worse is put like what I call a shame blanket on your behavior. Like, oh, I shouldn't be working.
Yeah.
But when you love what you do, like I go to bed and I'm writing copy and I'm reading like about the next cool funnel or, I just geek out on that stuff.
Like
so yeah, like you, Polly. Right. Like you. And someone was like, oh, it was my sister. This is so funny. She was staying with us on the weekend. And we were going out on a date. And my sister said, and remember Blair, like Blair's my husband. She said, now remember, don't let her talk about work. And he said, do you even know your sister? Like, she would be freaking miserable if she was unable to talk about work. It's like, what do we talk about? What's the economy like? What's political stuff like? I wouldn't know what to talk about. I would probably talk about how to wash your dog. I'm a pro at that from my 4-H background, or something about like marketing and funnels and coaching.
So there's no like work-life balance. It's just one big life, which includes work.
I love the idea of one big life. Doesn't that sound awesome?
Yeah.
Like think about it. One big life. Like that's what I'm going to live. If I have to divide it up and go after this idea of balance, I don't know anyone who's balanced except someone who's not really doing anything. Is that rude? But like, what is balance? Yeah. Balance just means that we're not currently putting our focus anywhere. Because if you think about like, as soon as you get into focus, you get out of balance.
Yeah.
So
totally.
I don't know what that would. I think balance is just something a lot of people talk about, but no one really knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. I think people who they're not focused on they don't love their work, I think, if they turn off. You can't turn off when you love it, can you?
I don't think you can, but you know what is worse than that is loving your work, but feeling this shame that you have to turn it off. Which I think sometimes in family dynamics, it can be that way. Like if you're not really on the same page with how you're growing and moving and having a big life, right? What's your definition of a big life really is? It's got to be a shared definition, or else there will always be some type of, should I restrict myself? Should I limit myself? Am I doing something wrong? Like we've raised 7 kids. We have grandkids now.
Wow. 7 kids.
7 kids. But we'll just take a laugh break right there, okay? We'll
That's
all
see,
right.
in the UK, not many families go that big.
Yeah, I remember when we traveled over there. It's like, wait, what circus are you guys representing? Like, do you have a business card? Do people hire you for parties? Are you available this weekend for a corporate get together? Like, do you dress the same?
And what what age bracket?
I'm sorry. Oh, is this a business podcast? I'm sorry. I thought it was humor.
Age bracket is your children then? Just
God,
curious.
why do you have to ask me those hard questions? Okay, my oldest is 30. Hold on, my husband is within the visual field.
30 other daughters.
Yeah. Okay. The ages of 30 to 17. And we'll pretend like I knew that. Wait, 16 or 17? 17 coming up. So by the time this airs, 17. And we have 4 grandkids.
You don't even look old enough to have a child of 30.
Ooh, that was recorded. I'm going to listen to that every single. I want a soundbite. I want the soundbite on social media to be that. And like a really super hot picture of me. It's like, make sure you listen to.
That's so true. Anyway, back to the funnel.
Okay.
When you did the funnel that got you the 2 Comma Club, what type of funnel was it?
So we've done several, but the one that was most effective, I think, is, and I don't know if it'd be as effective today.
Okay.
But what we were doing was a challenge funnel. And I mean, the challenge funnel is very effective today.
Yeah.
But it was when not a lot of people were doing challenges, and we had published a book. Okay. Can I tell you a really cool story?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. My attention span is all over the place. So you might have to rein me in a little bit. Okay. Cool story. True story. I was had a contract with the biggest Christian publishing house in the world to write a book about the strategies I use to help coach moms.
All right. Okay.
And when I turned in the manuscript, like they paid me $50,000 as an advance to write this book, right? So I wrote the book, turned in the manuscript, got a call from the editor several weeks later, said, we have a problem. I was like, oh, what's the problem? And she said, well, we have a problem with some of the verbiage you use, like prosperity and abundance. And I was like, but all of that is biblical. Like it's all like, I didn't come up with that. I'm pretty sure God came up with that. That wasn't an original idea. And she's like, oh, it's no problem. What we could do is just hire a ghostwriter, change the content. I'm like, hold up, sister. Like that's awesome. That's gold. Like it has changed the lives of thousands of moms. So would I have to change the content and the processes and the strategies in order to get it published? She said, yes. So I had already spent the advance. I'm like buying furniture and paying bills, right? I had already spent that $50,000. So went and got a loan, $50,000, bought my rights back. And then this really cool guy, Russell Brunson, I think you know him.
Yep.
He had this idea on, wait, you can self-publish. And since that day, we have made like ridiculous money just through a book that I got a loan and bought my rights back and took it upon myself to self-publish. Way more than I think I could have ever made with the traditional publishing route. So we kind of pulled that in with the challenge funnel and set that up, and it was remarkable. And the thing that's cool, like I love the digits, right? Love it. It's so rewarding. But I'm telling you, Polly, when you're contacted by a mom who was struggling with multiple sclerosis, couldn't get out of bed, her 5-year-old son was raising her 3-year-old son, and she didn't have any reason to get up and live. And she gets a hold of my book, and she gets a hold of that challenge, and she starts to get her energy back, and she starts being able to engage with her kids. And then her 5-year-old comes into her living room, holds her face in his hands and said, "You're my new mommy." And she said, "What do you mean? I've always been your mommy." And he said, "No, you're happy now." That, girlfriend, I'll do it all day long. Like the reward is awesome. The digits are great. The bank accounts pumping, love it. but changing lives, holy cow.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a
So
big life.
definitely big life. Yeah. Awesome. That's something that you didn't even dream of when you first started, I'm guessing.
You know what? That's all I dreamed of.
Oh, is it?
It's all I dreamed of. Like I worked so hard for so long. Here I am with 7 kids, homeschooling them. My office is my pantry that I would sit on a pickle bucket and shut the door. Like that was how I built this thing. And my husband was so supportive the whole process. Like when I first invested in ClickFunnels, I was like, I know we don't have the money for this. I know we would have to go deeper into debt, but I've got to find a way to get to those moms, because that's all I dreamed of. Is because I had a hard time at first when I was a new mom, and I had anxiety and I had depression and I had a cluttered home, and all I could think about is I know how to help moms. I got to get it to them. So that's literally why that was all I dreamed of.
Right. Okay. So was the book for free, or did you ship them? Was it a free plus shipping book funnel that you started?
It was actually, it wasn't a free plus shipping. This is a cool thing we did. We said, you signed up for the challenge, we'll send you the book for free.
Oh, right. Okay. So the challenge is the opt-in.
Yeah, the challenge was the opt-in, and you get the book for free when you do the challenge.
Okay.
And that was, we had a great time with that. And honestly, we're just kind of revamping that whole thing around the same book because it still works like crazy.
All right. Okay. So was it a 5-day challenge, something like that?
No, it was a 21-day challenge, which is why we're revamping, because for people to spend 21 days doing something is hard. Now, it wasn't as hard a few years ago, but I think today it's like, here's your 2-minute challenge. Can you pay attention for 2 minutes? And we'll give you $5,000 for 2 minutes of your time. Like, it's just so hard. People's attention, especially busy moms, which is my target audience, they're all over the place.
Right. Okay.
So we're just trying to find new ways of like making them stop the scroll, making them think for just long enough, hold some hope that their lives could be radically different, and then give them an offer that they just can't refuse.
And what was the offer? Was it
well, the offer was the challenge, but what we're starting to move into now, we're kind of testing this out, is a very low price for the book with all the bonuses, just to get them started, and then a value add at the bottom that you can add on to the purchase for if you want to get 21 days of videos. Because we already have, like, I think sometimes we recreate everything. I'm so guilty of that. I will recreate something that's actually working instead of just using assets and leveraging those assets. Like, if you have something that genuinely helps people, don't stop there. Just think of different ways you can leverage that to go into different funnels. Do a survey funnel around it, do a quiz, do a opt-in guide that leads to more of the program, but just reuse those assets if it actually gets results. If it's a powerful product, don't give up on it just because someone else is doing something else.
Yeah, definitely. So when they did the challenge at the end of the 21 days, did you send them to a checkout, or did you send them to book a call to talk with you, or what did they do?
Well, what happened, and this is so cool, is inside the book, almost every other page is a testimonial about my online university.
Right. Okay.
So if they just make it through the first chapter, they already know. It's like, wait, what is this university that Hannah has? All these moms are getting incredible results. Like, literally every other page, like every 2 or 3 pages, there's a testimonial. And this is a book that's over like 320 pages.
All right. Okay.
So we have tons of testimonials. So you can't read the book without testimonials. And then as I, walk them through with the different processes, we always stick on a story. And I think, you have to help your client see themselves in the finished work. Right. Like, they have to see themselves where their marriage is awesome, and where their house is like put together, and where they're having fun with their kids, and they're not stressing about bills. You have to like put them in that mindset, and then help them say, hey, the only thing that's missing is us working together. That's it. That is the only thing. And as soon as you can like get them there where they can see hope. Now, that's a problem that I have with my target audience, because what I offer my target audience is life transformation. It's not like, I'll help you get $5,000 overnight, right? So what I help them with is changing their mind and how they're operating neurologically so that they can actually start getting different results. So the problem with my target audience is they've tried so many things,
right,
and it doesn't work for them. We're talking about moms with mom brain. So they've tried the diets, they've tried the decluttering programs, the budgets aren't working, the marriage retreats, they come back and they're still arguing and they're like, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. It's just your brain thinks differently because you're a mom. So I have to help them understand. And that's really important, that we help our client understand you did nothing wrong. So if we can help them get exonerated from any guilt of past purchases and past attempts, if you really have a product that can help them, like if you don't know that that working with you is going to change their life, then don't do this, because that just leads them down another rabbit hole of failure. But if you know that working with you will change their life, just be like, hey, you tried everything, you did nothing wrong. It's because you haven't talked to me yet. Like, that's all that's missing.
Definitely. So I want to do a little bit of a rewind for you now. I want to take you back to your childhood.
Oh my gosh, do you really want to go there? Can we have a background track or something? Like, it's got to be something like from either like Walking Dead or Last of Us. No, I'm just joking. No, it was.
What did your childhood look like?
Okay, my childhood looked like, I'm the youngest of 5. We are totally left to our own devices, which you go ahead and imagine what that looks like, because my mom was pretty she was busy. My dad was busy. And so 5 kids left to their own devices. It's just going to be a party. Something's going to go weird. So when other kids were going to like summer camp, like soccer and, arts and crafts, we went to circus camp.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which explains so much.
That sounds like fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Like, you show up to camp and it's like, okay, now we're going to do the high wire and fall into a big net and learn how to juggle and learn how to swing from a trapeze, like all that kind of stuff. But it really taught me so much about operating without limits. Right. I can say I'm so grateful for my upbringing, because we have so much freedom and because we could just try anything. And the funny thing is, I immediately wanted to like grow a business. I was 9, and I don't even know if my mom and dad even realized what I was doing. I was going around the neighborhood, like selling crap that I would find. Like I would, paint rocks, sell them. One time I made this little newsletter. Okay, this shows you what a geek I am. I made this newsletter called the PMA Times, which stands for Positive Mental Attitude. I was 9,
wow.
Polly.
Where'd you get that from when you're 9?
I was 9 because it came from, they had a storehouse full of books from like an MLM that they were part of. And it was all on personal development and growth. So I would spend every day in that storehouse, like that shed in the backyard, soaking up all this like Norman Vincent Peale and like soaking up all these like classics, right? So I made this PMA newsletter and I went around the neighborhood selling subscriptions for 25 cents to the Positive Mental Attitude Times. And
that's
now
so
I understand
awesome.
why I would walk up a driveway and they would immediately turn out the lights and like pull the blinds down. Like, now I understand, like, that weird kid in the neighborhood that's just trying to get money from us.
That's so amazing though, at 9 of you doing that.
No, pretty crazy.
So what did your parents do then? Why weren't they around? Why were you left to your own devices?
My dad was busy, like building, he was working with finances, education, like anything that was available. He was very much a go-getter. And actually, when he would drive us to school, he wouldn't let us get out of the car until we said, anything I could vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass. And then we were allowed out of the car. We could go to school. Like, we weren't allowed out till he said that. And my mom, she had 5 kids. She was just she struggled a bit. She was there.
All right.
But it like back then, back when the pterodactyls flew in the sky and a brontosaurus munched from the leaves and the trees when I was a kid. Like back then, it was like you didn't have to watch your kids.
Yeah.
And so we basically like would run amok all over the neighborhood, come back with a pocket full of change and a smile on my face, and I'm happy.
So what was the dream then when you were 9? What did you want to do when you grew up?
I wanted to be a rock singer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Are you good at singing?
I want to sing a few bars.
Are you good?
No, seriously, I wanted to be on stage and be a singer and an entertainer. Like I thought that'd be so fun.
So what did you do? I always wanted to be an actress.
Oh, fun. Yes.
What did you do after school? And did you go to college?
I did go to college. And so that's when I majored in psychology. I went on to become a behavior therapist. And then I stopped doing that so that I could do life coaching. So I could basically own my own business.
All right. Okay. So did you have a job after college or did you just start?
Yeah, I was a behavior therapist.
All right. Okay.
But as soon as I started having babies, I knew I wanted to be with them. Like I just wanted to be home with them. So that's when I quit being a behavior therapist and I knew I wanted to start a business.
Right.
And I tried everything. Polly, I'm like the poster child of failed businesses. Like,
what did you try? What did you try?
Oh my God, I can't even I don't have the breath in my lungs to tell you all the things I tried because it was like I failed at over 7 home businesses. Like anytime someone be like, oh, here's this cool supplement, this green juice you can drink and be like incredibly vibrant. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to take a case every month and I'm going to sell it. I sold nothing. There was this one company I signed up for. It was some kind of contraption you put in your dryer I don't even know what it is. I didn't have enough money to buy it, but I'm like, oh, I can try selling it. The worst salesperson, the worst business owner ever. So I'm just sharing that because if someone's listening and saying, oh my God, all these people who win these awards have so many skills and they're so good at business and they so understand numbers. No, absolutely not. I failed and failed. My husband would come home and see like a new box of like essential oils. He like, you signed up for another thing? Yep, I did.
So what changed then? What happened? What was the change? What was the turning point?
Okay, well, the change was I knew I wanted to own a business. I knew I wanted to take advantage of just being able to own and operate my own business. And I remember sitting on the porch one day and I was just like spending time in prayer and meditation. And you would think like it would be common sense, but God basically said, why don't you just help people? It's like, like what? Like I was already a behavior therapist. Like I knew how to do these things, right?
Right. Okay.
So I decided, okay, I'm just going to start helping people. I'm just going to start serving people. I'm going to start coaching them. I'm going to up my skills and really know how to serve people, especially moms, because that was where I struggled so much, and how to get results in their life. And as soon as I started doing that, things kind of fell into place. Now, I'm sharing this because as long as you have a strong enough why, as long as you have a purpose that just burns inside of you and it wakes you up in the morning and you're like, I have to get this out there, then there's no such thing as obstacles. There's no such thing as you can't afford it. There's no such thing as I'm not ready. There's no such thing as I don't know how. None of that. Because if you have a strong enough desire, all there is in front of you is opportunity. And if you just leverage opportunity, like I'm so grateful for ClickFunnels. I'm so grateful for the mentors I've had because I've been able to leverage their knowledge and their tools to take my service to the next level and really help people.
So when you had that thought on your front porch, was it?
Yeah.
What did you do? How did you find ClickFunnels? How did you get started?
Well, I didn't have ClickFunnels then. And all I knew how to do was get people on a phone and serve them. So that was back when instant teleseminar was the thing.
All right.
And
Okay.
so, yeah. And so I would post like, hey, if I'm going to do this member site, and if you want to get coaching every single week, call in at this number. And literally it was like $20 a month. And I could see the numbers, like I could see the numbers on the screen of people calling in, and I would just be on my side with the microphone, just helping them, giving them practical strategies that they could use to implement immediately in their life. And I'll never forget one time I had poured over my notes, Polly. I had prepared the most effective, like how to stop stopping, like how to keep going in the face of adversity, like all the beautiful strategies and tools to help people. And there was one caller. One caller. And I remember looking at that screen thinking, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And clearly, again, heard the voice of God. And he said, if you can't do it for one, don't even think you're going to do it for a million. I was like, yes, sir. I'm on it. And served that one caller. I don't know who that one caller was, but man, I served her like I was serving a stadium full of people. And because I realized if I'm in it for my gain, then it's going to be harder. It's going to be a struggle. And I don't know where that contentment is going to come from. But if I'm in it for the transformation of other people, that's always available.
Yeah. So how did those people know? Where did you advertise? How did they know to call in that number?
That's where I really leveraged Facebook.
All right. Okay. So when was it then?
And I would do like little webinars. So I would do a 45-minute webinar, and just basically like basic tools, like just show up and I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm doing for moms. We're going to have a group and I'm going to coach you every single week, and we're going to be able to communicate, and it's only $20 a month. And that's how the my university called Mom Master University, that's how it was born.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. It's just really, I was leveraging social media, getting out there and just talking to people. And every once in a while I would do a webinar to say, here's why you need to be part of this group.
So at that point, did you have a mentor or a coach then, or were you just doing
I was floating around by the seat of my pants.
Right. Okay. So
yes, blithely unaware that there were actually tools and strategies that I could leverage. And it was when I went to, I don't even know how I even got to funnel hacking. What? Oh yeah. Okay. So a friend told me about it, right?
Funnel hacking live.
Yeah. And showed up there, and I'm like, oh, maybe this will work. It did. It worked brilliantly. And it helped me really take my business to the next level and professionalize what I was doing and serve people better. So super grateful.
All right. Okay. So how did you then go from that? How did you grow it so massively that you've got all these accolades? Like, what was the parenting #1?
Yeah, I don't know if it was I wish I could tell you, but it's always been like fits and starts, and you just keep going. Like we have, so many funnels that we've tried out. Some have worked, some haven't worked. But I think that the secret is when something's so big inside of you, you just have to keep going. And that was a long time. I mean, it didn't have to be that long, but I really struggled with not knowing how to build a business. I just know I had a passion for it. And so when I got into ClickFunnels, that's when I was able to really leverage the tools inside of there. And I think the first year I was in there, I think we made around around 70,000.
Right. Okay.
The first year, which was like, I never made that much money ever. I was so excited. Next year we hit 6 figures. Year after that, we're closing in on $250,000. And so it was like that progress of just, we are showing up every day. We're going to follow directions. Like, I don't know if some of your listeners can understand, but sometimes we just think we have the best ideas ever. And when I realized, you know what, maybe I don't have the best ideas, because my best ideas haven't always worked for me. Maybe someone else has figured out something better, and just follow directions and pay attention, that it works. It's
Yeah.
not like if it was hard, I couldn't do it. I would just be like, forget it. I'll go back to like calling one person on the phone and telling them how to stop stopping. Like I just couldn't figure out something that was too hard.
So who built your first funnel in ClickFunnels? Did you build it?
My daughter.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes, my daughter did, from our kitchen table. She built
Awesome.
it. Yeah, I know. She's amazing.
And what about the one that got you the 2 Comma Club?
My daughter.
Oh, did she? That's awesome.
Yes, I know. She's a rock star. So grateful for her.
So how big a team do you how big is your team now then?
So now we have about 5 people working
Okay.
for us. Not including like VAs, and we have several virtual, but 4 of those are my kids.
Oh, really?
Which is so fun.
That is amazing.
I know. It's so much fun. Like one of my daughters runs the shipping department. One of my sons, I also train people in how to become what we call covenant coaches. They're like life coaches with like the neurobiblical strategies that I teach. So he's the one that like is the director of that group. I have another son that has, he does all of our videos, social media, all the editing, all that kind of stuff. And then my daughter, who is still like building funnels. So she's incredible.
Wow. That's fabulous. So what do you do in the business? What's your main role?
I'm still wondering what that is. Right. I don't really know. So my sweet spot is creating content.
Right. Okay.
I can create content for days. So I love that when I am speaking, when I'm leading a conference, when I'm training up people, when I'm coaching, it's just like, that's my flow state. Like, I don't even know what time it is. I don't even know the last time I drank water or peed or ate or anything. It's just, I love doing that. So that's where I like to stay, because it's just so much fun for me. And then I let the people who really know what they're doing take that and run with it.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So thinking about your journey now, your entrepreneurial journey, what do you think's been the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome?
I think the biggest hurdle, I'm going to be so real with you, is getting over myself.
Right. Okay.
Like one thing I do struggle with is I can't figure it out. Like that whole idea of like, I need to figure this out. I need to figure this out, which I think that comes from some of my childhood as I was, the kid in special ed, the kid with the notes sent home, the kid who couldn't pay attention, the kid who was called to the principal's office. Like I couldn't pay attention. So I kind of went through my childhood with this idea that I wasn't smart and I couldn't figure things out. So when it came to building a business, that was one area that I really struggled with, that I think if I could have resolved that and done some work in that earlier, it could have actually fast tracked my success. But you know what? I wouldn't have the beautiful journey that I have of doing the work.
Yeah. And
so one thing that I think does hold up a lot of people is they stay in an internal struggle where they think, I should know something that I don't, or I'm lacking a skill that I don't have. So instead of that, what if we just embraced who we are and we allow the people who know that to do that? And just, that's why I like to stay in my sweet spot. If you're like talking, all right, how do we strategize this funnel outreach and drive ads? I'd be like, dude, no, not here. Like, no, I just can't. But knowing that there are people who really love that as much as I love creating content, leverage that. You don't have to figure everything out. Yeah. I wasted so much time and energy thinking that I alone had to figure it out.
Yeah. So it's all about delegating what you're not good at to other people who are good at it.
I mean, you may as well, or just like stay feeling guilty and frustrated and stupid. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But
so on your journey, when you were having all those failed businesses, was there ever a time where you thought about giving up?
Like, you mean like weekly, daily, like hourly, like You gotta be a little more specific, Polly. Like, what are you talking?
Well, did
No,
you
I'm
think
joking.
I'm going to go back and get a job?
Girl, every other day.
Yeah.
But I knew I didn't want a job because I wanted to be with my kids.
Right.
I knew I wanted to experience that part of my life of having children, raising children, homeschooling them. I knew I wanted to be 100% there. So I never thought that's that I'm going to go back and get a job. I always thought, okay, that doesn't work. We're deeper in debt and I need to find a way to stretch this paycheck. But there were a lot of times that I wanted to give up. And every single time.
How'd you keep going? That's the thing. A lot of people
How I kept going
up.
was thinking about that woman, thinking about that mom who she wants to give up too. She wants to give up on her kids. She wants to give up on her life. She wants to give up on her marriage. She wants to give up on her diet. She's just sick and tired of everything. She's overwhelmed. No one understands. She feels isolated. And that's why I would not give up, because of her. Because I had to do something hard to make it a little bit easier for her. And I'm more than willing to do that every day of the week. So giving up, although I would entertain it, honestly, it was never a possibility because I knew there's too much at stake.
Yeah. So how many people have you had through your university now then?
We have several hundred in our university. We've had thousands who have gone through our book and our challenges. And just looking, like, I'm super excited because we're getting ready to launch a new phase of growth in our university. And it's just so fun. Like, the whole process is fun. It's not about getting to that award. It's about who you become in the process of it. And that is the part that I think so many people overlook, is who we're becoming in that pursuit. Yeah, that's awesome to be on stage and to get an award, but who we are every day, that's the real award.
Yeah. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
I mean, we hear that a lot, but I don't think it's a very hard thing to live with. We still think, oh, but it's going to be better here. No, it's not. It's not going to be any better there than it is here. We think, oh, but when I have money in the bank and when I have that award and when my business is there and when I have this many subscribers, like, fill in the blank. You can say that all day long and we can have all the posts, but we always think it's going to be better. But that is such a lie that will keep us moving towards something that's just elusive. If we can understand, wait, I can choose right now that it's better here. And it's not going to be any better there. I have the opportunity in this building a funnel, in this building my business, in this getting my product out to people. This right now, this day can be rewarding just because of who I am, where I am, and my purpose right now. That's going to be good, but no better than it is now.
Yeah. So in your university, is that what people learn? That they learn how to live in the now?
Yeah, that's one thing that's very important, because moms especially will typically think, as soon as my kid gets potty trained, as soon as my husband respects me a little more, as soon as I have a bigger house, as soon as we're out of debt, then I'll be happy. And that is just such a lie. We have that opportunity now. So that's one thing that I help moms with is not like always changing their circumstances, but changing their belief around their circumstances, because that's actually what's going to drive it forward. So that's what I do. And that's how I help people.
Awesome. And do you have people from all over the world, or is it just United States?
Oh, it's all over the world. And what's super cool is, like, developing that culture. Like, we have moms who are starting up their own campuses of Mom Master University in Poland and in Germany and in France and China. It's super cool because what we do as well is we operate part of our business as a ministry, and we allow these moms to just download things every week for these moms who, they're serving. And it's like we're equipping them to build their own local ministries for these moms who feel overwhelmed, which is it's so rewarding to hear the stories that come out of that.
That's fantastic.
It's fun.
So do you have a morning routine that you do every day?
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right.
I get up out of bed.
Yeah, what else?
Okay. All right. But after I get out of bed, no. I mean, I have very, very specific morning routine. And it includes, so I have my proclamations that I speak every day, and I recorded them on my phone. So I love to like anchor things together so I don't forget to do it. So what I'll do is I'll anchor like, okay, I'm going to say my proclamation. I'm going to hear it. And I'm going to say it out loud while I walk my dogs. So I have a golden doodle and a sheepadoodle, and they're crazy pants. I've got to like walk them at least like 3 miles a day, or they like drive me crazy. And so that's when I can like work on my proclamations. And then when I'm getting ready, I always listen to a podcast. So putting on makeup, doing my hair, I'm listening to a podcast. And I always have something that'll fuel my body. And I always spend time. The first thing I do in the morning is grab a cup of coffee and I read the Bible. And then after that, I spend some time in prayer and then do those other routines and off to the races. So that's what I do.
Awesome. And do you have like you said, you don't there's no work-life balance, but do you go to work for a set amount of time and finish, or do you dip in and out?
I really don't like, so we have headquarters here. I do work out of my house, but I also work out of our headquarters here. All right. And so I'll come in, we'll record podcasts. Like I do have structure. Like we record a podcast every Monday and every Thursday. We do live streaming during the week. Those kinds of things are structured in my calendar, but there's always like pushes and pulls as you're just like it is like a business is like a family, and you'll have seasons where it's really moving forward and seasons where you're okay, let's step back and systemize things. And so we kind of like handle it organically.
Right. Okay. All right. Awesome. So what's the focus for this year now?
I think this year is, I'm hearing a lot about getting your house in order, getting things set up, cleaned up, clarified, simplified. And so that's what I've been trying to do. We're entering into like, for the next month or so, we're just going to take another look at all of our systems, see what's working, see what's not, seeing what, rebranding, what we need to rebrand, seeing what we need to let go of that's not working, like just getting more clean. Just, all right, okay. I think it really helped. I think we always have the propensity to complicate things. Like we add stuff instead of take away. So I think this is really a time when we are seeing what we need to take away, right? But okay. Which is, I'm creating more content than ever, only because that's what is really serving people. But there might be things that we need to like eliminate, and I'm totally cool with that.
Do you have a lot of different funnels, or do you just have a couple of core funnels?
We have several funnels that we're running right now. And so we're kind of, again, in a season where we step back and we're looking at, all right, let's design something new. Let's work on something that's really operating with the way people are thinking right now and what they're watching, what they're listening to, that kind of thing.
All right. Okay. Okay. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
If you're going to be an animal for 24 hours, what would you be and why?
I think I would be a sea otter.
Oh, wow. Not had that one before.
But they have so much fun. They just kind of like, okay, like imagine a life where you're laying on your back and you got a whole bunch of Cheetos on your belly and you're like, yum, 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 yum. And just like floating. 24 hours of that? Are you kidding me? That's like you would pay like $2,000 for a retreat like that. So I'm down for the sea otter life for at least 24 hours.
That's awesome. Now, if anybody's listening wants to get a copy of your book or go check out your university, where do they need to go?
They would go to MomFog or mommasteryuniversity.com. And also, I'm always answering questions. If people just want to get in touch with me on Instagram, I'm Hannah Keeley. You can DM me. And I always read those and I always respond. So yeah, I love helping people like pursue their purpose of why awesome. They're here.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's been super awesome. I've loved it.
Thank you so much, Polly. This was fun.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast on your podcast software. It really helps us rank the podcast and get more listeners. And if you're over on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell. Every Friday, 8 a.m. GMT, we release a brand new episode. And until then, have a good one.